Dear Chinese investors, the Premier of the state of Victoria, Australia, recently visited China, asking you to invest in a huge new toll road for Melbourne called the East-West Road Link. Many powerful interest groups support this road. That's why Premier Baillieu, who was elected on a promise to build new railway lines and improve public transport, has now backflipped and is asking you to help him build this road. But here are 3 things Premier Baillieu won't tell you about it. Number 1, it's financially risky. Recently built toll roads in Australia, such as Sydney's Cross City Tunnel and Brisbane's Clem 7, have been financial disasters for their investors. Their projected returns were based on inflated patronage estimates, but it turns out that many less cars are using these roads than investors were told to expect. A lot of people have lost a lot of money on Australian toll roads, and some of them are now going to court. Number 2. There is strong local opposition to the East-West Road Link. I'm Alison Clark. I was the 2010 to 2011 Mayor of the City of Yarra, a community of 80,000 people which this road would slice right through. The councillors of the City of Yarra unanimously passed a resolution in opposition to this road, and with the local community and the support of some state and federal members of Parliament, are actively campaigning against it.
There's going to be huge demand on land. Imagine the exits and the land that will be acquired, our houses, our neighbours' houses, and the repercussions that the Mayor has indicated in terms of the social cost, the economic cost and the environmental cost.
We've stopped this for a good 5-10 years so far, and I'm absolutely confident that we're going to keep it off the agenda.
They've talked about how we need a great big tunnel to go through our suburb. We need a huge, what we call the hell mouth, which would be the entrance to the freeway, which is going to be right in the middle of a residential area. It's going to be a few streets away from my home, so this is just not politics, it's about my community as well. The money should not be being spent on tollway, should not be being spent on tunnels that just destroy communities. It's got to be on trains, it's got to be on buses, it's got to be on trams. That's what we need. We need an integrated public transport system.
This is a community that knows how to fight and knows how to win. Previous state governments have tried to close this local train line, these schools, and sell off this old convent. Plus, a previous council tried to close this swimming pool. The community fought back, and the schools and pool have reopened and expanded. The train line is busier than ever, and the convent is part of a thriving arts and culture precinct, our area's biggest tourist destination. It's only fair to warn potential investors to expect significant local opposition to the East-West Road Link, in the streets, in the courts, wherever they turn, potentially leading to costly delays and project cancellation. We have a beautiful, vibrant, multicultural city which we hope you'll visit sometime. We love it and we will defend it. We welcome your investment in beneficial projects, but not ones that would damage our city. Number 3. It's a bad and wrong project, economically, socially and environmentally. With a benefit-cost ratio of between 0.5 and 0.7, it would drain rather than boost our economy. The roads from the proposed route of the Tollway to Melbourne Central Business District, where most traffic wants to go, are already clogged, and the East-West Tollway would only worsen these traffic jams and lock Melbourne further into car dependency. With petrol prices going up, this is a future economic and social disaster. Motorways are an inefficient way to move large numbers of people and waste huge amounts of valuable urban land. Our biggest health problems are the diseases of a sedentary lifestyle, so whenever possible we need to be walking, cycling and taking public transport to school and work, not sitting on our backsides in cars.
This is also a health issue. I just want to tell you one alarming statistic. According to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, which is the main government body collecting health statistics in Australia, 2.3% of all premature deaths are due to urban air pollution. That's more than 1 in 50 deaths each year, and most of the urban air pollution is from cars. We don't want to see this figure increasing. We want a Doncaster Railway Line.
Melbourne's outer suburbs have poor or non-existent public transport, leaving teenagers and people with disabilities and others who don't drive heavily reliant on others for transport. Mum's taxi deserves a rest. The greenhouse gas emissions of this road would make climate change worse, affecting China as well as Australia. Finally, the road's price tag of at least $10 billion would mean no money left over for vital projects like new train, tram and bus services in the city and the Victorian countryside, and grade separations at dangerous clogged level crossings.
People out in the country ought to think, well, if they need their local road fixed up, they ought to be opposing this proposal here, because there'll be nothing left if this thing goes ahead. There have been examples of rail built along the centre of freeways in Perth and so on, which have worked quite successfully and which have exceeded their projected usage rates for 2020 already.
The good news is that what we in Melbourne's Inner East want, instead of this road, costs a tenth of its price and looks like this.
I'm on this train, I'm on this train, I'm on this downtown underground New York subway train.
A train down the existing Eastern Freeway to Doncaster, met by feeder buses that would let thousands of people leave their cars at home and study, work, socialise or relax on the train. This would free up space on our roads for ambulances, trucks, people with carloads of kids and shopping, and all the others who really do have to drive. In cities, the speed of cars is intrinsically linked to the speed of public transport. So when we speed up our public transport, we'll speed up our roads as well. That's the real solution to congestion. We want to fix this traffic jam, not just move it down the road. Smart people all over our region are building highly successful new urban train lines. So if Premier Ted Baillieu comes knocking on your door asking you to invest in his big new toll road, please tell him you'd much rather help build the upgrades to Melbourne's public transport system that he promised.
And I look forward to coming back here in a few years' time where we have the groundbreaking ceremony, the opening, cutting of the ribbon to celebrate the opening of Doncaster Railway.
Thank you very much,
I'm on this train, I'm on this downtown underground New York subway train. On this red line's closed.